Yo, peep this. You just clicked on Let's View It. And for those that don't know, I'm your man of the channel, Tyrone Cross. And I love to react to videos. What can I say? For those who have rode with me, welcome back. And to all my new riders, I advise you buckle up and enjoy the ride. And if you do enjoy the ride, then I appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you don't, then I appreciate the view anyways. So now in today's video, I'm gonna go in a little bit of a different direction. I'm gonna react to a video by JUBILEE called, Do All Trans Teens Think the Same? Dang, try to say that 3 times fast. Well, let's find out. So you already know, let's view it.
I would date a cisgendered individual. 3, 2.
I'm gonna say the majority of them definitely gonna say they won't date a cisgender. That's pretty obvious, right? Either you're gonna have to lie to them to date them because they won't date trans or binary or trinaries or quinaries.
1.
Like, I've dated cis people in the past, and like every time, like especially because like I'm assigned female at birth and non-binary, like if I'm dating like a man, he typically just sees me as a woman. Like I saw a TikTok literally yesterday. It was like, have y'all ever been with a they them woman? I was like, that is so like no. If you can't see me as non-binary, I cannot be seen outside with you. Like with women that are cis, like it's more welcoming, but like people, like they perceive us as like a lesbian couple, and that's not really like what I'm trying to do.
Hold up, let me get this straight. She's basically saying she can't date a cis, which I believe is just a regular ass heterosexual person or a heterosexual male, because they will only see her as a female instead of this non-binary. I guess that means she's neither. Honestly, this is a lot to keep up with, but from my understanding, she is a girl, but she wants to call herself non-binary, and straight men are like, whatever, you're a girl, and she can't stand it.
My age, boys kind of come into themselves and their desires, and it's just weird because they either want one thing or another thing, and usually like I'm subject to be fetishized. Like sometimes they'll like come at me and like be like yeah, like you're like the best of both worlds, and I'm like, girl, this is not Hannah Montana. Like, I am a girl. I want to have like my own little moment where I could just get my own Prince Charming and stuff like that and just have a normal, you know, relationship like the rest of these cis girls.
For me, like I've normally only dated cis girls. I've been fetishized like probably a couple of times. Like they say, oh yeah, I'm bi, and then like, they like see me as like a girl or something, and it's so bizarre. But I've only recently ever like dated someone who's not cis and they identify as non-binary, and that relationship taught me so much because I feel like they really saw me like for who I am, and like they were the most like aware person.
I've only been with one cis person, and it was a girl, and I feel like if anything, girls are super understanding, but I'm still open to a cis person. Like it depends on the person, really. Like I'm not looking for a trans person, I'm just looking for a good person.
You should be able to medically transition before adulthood. 3, 2, 1.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna say that most of these teenagers is probably gonna think you should be able to. But I would like to point out, why do you gotta be 18 to get a tattoo, but you could be a minor to chop your ding dong off?
A lot of us, we have realized that this is what's best for us, like as kids, and it's all about your mental health and well-being. But also, that being said, I think it's also important that this is what you really want, because it's going to be a life-changing decision, and behind that there should be a lot of evaluations and a lot of affirmations.
So like I said, they all went to somewhat or strongly agree. But this is the problem. If these are teens, they are basically answering a question they don't know the answer to. How would they know until they are adults, until they are 30, until they are 35, 40, that they made that right choice? They're still living in the choice they made right now. So even if they wanted to be more logical about it, they would have to say, I don't really know until I get there.
Basically what I was gonna say, it's like, it depends where you're at. You have to be at a certain place and like make sure like you're really ready, but I do think it would help so many trans kids' mental health if they were able to transition before 18.
Only temporarily. Look, as an adult, we all look back on things that we did as teens and would have been like, I wish I didn't do that. And it wasn't even this drastic. It was something small and simple. They're talking about completely medically changing their sex. They don't know they're kids.
Dying to get on hormones, and I do agree that kids like should be able to get like hormones and go through HRT, but like there's also like a little part of me that's like, what if they end up changing their mind?
Why is it only a little part of you that wonders, what if they change their mind? Why not a big part of you?
I was 13. I thought I was a trans man, and then I was like, nah. And then I was like, wait. So it was like, for me, it was just like a lot of like questioning and going through different identities until I found what felt right. And like at the point I'm at right now, like I don't even know if I want to go on like HRT. So if I would have went on that when I was like 13, I don't know. I don't think I would have regretted it, but it was like, I'm glad that I like internalized a lot of it and like went through it within myself.
I think
Let me get this straight. He's standing in the strongly agree line, but at the same time talking about all these uncertainties he has felt throughout this process. That should make you go to the strongly disagree side, right?
so long as we educate children on like the risk on transitioning very young, like medically transitioning very young, and they're educated on the process, I think children should be able to choose whether or not they want to transition young.
It's not only the medical risk, it's the mental risk, the risk of you might just change your damn mind. It's that simple.
My teachers are accepting of my pronouns.
I'm gonna say for the most part, the teachers are definitely accepting of their pronouns. A huge part of it is because they don't want to get fired.
3, 2, 1.
I went to UCI for a quarter and they were very understanding and like they don't really like ask questions. But in high school, it was definitely a struggle because like my name was a different name on the roster and then like I would have to explain, especially like my Spanish teacher, she had like such like Catholic beliefs and like she would pull me aside and like ask questions, and it was really sweet of her to like try to understand, but it was also hard for them to like remember like in class and stuff like that, so it was kind of a struggle.
I'm honestly really thankful that they really did try to find a way to like make trans people feel a bit more comfortable in the school. Like right now I'm taking like a ballet and Pilates class and I totally thought it was gonna be, oh, but you were like born male, so you have to do like masculine presenting stuff, which I was like really afraid of, but I'm so glad that they're like really accepting.
Really? Is she that surprised? Do you not see how feminine what is considered a cis man these days is? So she really shouldn't be so surprised that they didn't ask her to do masculine stuff.
I go to UC Berkeley right now, and I get misgendered there like on a daily basis. Like I will introduce myself to the teacher and I'll be like, I go by they, them pronouns, by the way, I'm non-binary, like please respect my pronouns. And like within 2 times like that I'm in the classroom, they'll go back to using she, her pronouns. And like,
Well, considering it's a college professor, they're probably in their 30s, at least if they're young. And if not, they're in their 40s or their 50s. So guess what? For all that time, they've been calling girls her and she. So of course, it's going to be an automatic habit to go right back to that. That'd be like if I went up to everybody and said, in my house, I want you to call apples oranges. And then they immediately ask for an apple and call it an apple.
How dare you? Did you not even respect what I just said?
And one more thing. What's with the they, them? That's plural. You're making people speak incorrect English. Like if you guys got in a fight, would I say they beat them up, but it was a one-on-one fight? Comment below.
other classmates will also misgender me, and it gets just really mentally taxing at a point. And so I kind of just like stopped trying as much, because like it's just mentally exhausting having to realize like no one sees you as non-binary because
It's always great to see things in your own perspective. Does she not think for 1 second that it's mentally exhausting for us to have to keep calling her something that she completely made up? Does she even care? Or the fact that it doesn't even matter in the end of the day, but she wants to keep bringing it up. That's what's mentally exhausting.
still have like feminine qualities about yourself?
I have come out more than once. 3, 2, 1.
I've come out multiple times, like not just like for my like trans experience, but for like my sexuality as well. Cause I came out as like pansexual, then I came out as bi, and then I was just came out as non-binary before I came out as trans. I'm like, oh my god, like when are we gonna get it right, y'all? Like,
Yeah, same. I think I went through like 4 or 5 different sexualities, and then I was like, wait. And then I just feel like presenting more androgynous, it is this struggle of like coming out every day and being like, hey, like I know I look this way, but this is like what I am. This is how.
They talk about it like it's trying on pants, or like they're Goldilocks. This porridge is too cold. This porridge is too hot.
This porridge is just right.
And in the end of the day, all they're talking about is a label, a word. Can we go back to the good old days when you didn't want to be labeled?
Feel and like you can respect it or not, like honestly. It's just, I feel like it's gonna be forever.
I kind of feel like I have to come out like every single day, just like with new people I meet in my life. Like I'm constantly having to be like, oh yeah, my name's Mandy, I'm non-binary, I go by they, them pronouns, please respect those pronouns, or this is not like a safe space for me.
I get the like telling people on like a daily basis, like anyone you meet, like I want people to know immediately that I'm trans because I don't want to bring it up later on and have it be an issue with them. I feel like
That's the problem. No one gives a damn. How about that? Only people that give a damn is someone that's gonna have to sleep with you.
How about them apples?
I only came out once because after the first time I kind of made it visible and I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to have to come out again. And I thankfully had very supportive people in my life that like I could have came out to again, but I felt a lot more comfortable just kind of like living my life and having people just like accept what I'm doing with my life.
Exactly. Why do you have to come out? We don't come out. We just go. When I introduce myself to someone, I don't mention my race, I don't mention my gender, and I don't mention my sexuality. Because I'm a very busy man and that just takes too long.
Coming out again.
Cisgender individuals do not understand my struggles. 3, 2, 1.
Personally, my friends try to empathize, and I really appreciate that for them. But personally, I think that cis people take for granted, you know, their gender euphoria. Getting ready in the morning and looking at yourself and having the absence of distress. Like when I get up and I get ready and I look at myself physically, like I'm distressed, like I don't look like the person I was just dreaming I was, you know?
Oh, you mean when like people get up and they're fat and they don't like that? And they want to change it, and some people do surgeries to change it like that. The bottom line is there's a whole list of reasons of why people aren't happy with themselves. It doesn't mean they get to push everything onto someone else and say, make me feel better, because I can't figure it out.
Like I've known people that were cis and then would kind of be like transphobic towards me, and then after a few years they start transitioning and they're like, oh, I understand now. And like it wasn't until they were going through it and really felt the pain of it that they were able to understand.
I try to think of just like the whole entire spectrum of just like cis people who are like identifying female, but for some reason their bodies present more masculine. I feel like they can have that sort of point of view that can help them sympathize and empathize for you more. It's all about like the spectrum and just how there's just so many nuances.
She hit the nail on the head. There's so many nuances, but not just to whatever they're doing, to life.
Life would be easier if I wasn't trans. 3, 2, 1.
My whole thing is like, I'm already like a person of color. If I wasn't non-binary, I'd be a woman. So like life is not gonna be easy for me. And I just feel like that it wouldn't be the same, but it wouldn't be necessarily easier.
So just in case she wants to stop doing this non-binary thing, it's still gonna be hard for her because she's still a woman. Women don't have it hard. How do women have it hard? This is getting ridiculous. Everybody gets more leniency over males. Everyone. So it doesn't really matter what any of these people say.
I agree with what you're saying about being a person of color and being queer, but you know, like Like, I've been through so much horrible shit, and like, personally, like, my life would be easier if I was cis. I mean, a defining part of who I am is definitely being trans, but every day I do wonder, you know, what if I was actually born a cis, like, female, you know?
Yeah, I hate that I still think a lot of the time, like, I wonder what life would be like if I was cis, or I kind of wish I was cis. Like, I know I wouldn't be where I am, and I wouldn't know almost anyone in my life if I wasn't trans and if I didn't go through the struggles I went through.
Well, one thing, you wouldn't be on Jubilee. You'd probably be packing groceries somewhere.
I hate that every week I have to like inject my hormones. Like, I get so angry that like cis people get it for free, and like it's just natural.
Right? Like, oh my God.
And I'm like, and there's
God gave it to you for free too. It's not nobody else's fault that you decided to jump on this trend. And why do they get mad at us because we're comfortable with ourselves? That's strange.
times where my insurance is being like annoying and I can't get my
like,
hormones.
you got it in your body, like I got it in a drawer.
Yeah, like it's really, really hard and like breaks me down, but I know that I wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't trans.
Yeah, just like bouncing off that, just the thought of like waking up and not having dysphoria about something and like not trying on like 15 different shirts because my chest doesn't look flat enough, or like just stuff like that. I think it would genuinely make my life easier. But again, it's like I wouldn't meet the people that I have in my life, and I'm so grateful for them.
And that would be it. So give yourself a round of applause.
So that's the video. Do all trans teens think the same? I mean, for the most part, it seems like it, right? Of course, there's always a little of an exception, but for the most part, they all feel the same, but at the same time, they're all told to feel that way. Anyways, this can be a deep topic, so comment below, tell me what you think about all of this madness, really. But in the end of the day, I hope this video entertained you, made you laugh. And if it did, I need you to hit that bell like the Hunchback. Also click that hitchhiker button and subscribe with me. And I'll see you on the next trip. Day and night.
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
All my life.
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Can't help
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
That's why
Keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.